McMaster, you came out to the stakeout area yesterday, and coming out to the stakeout area, you said that the Washington Post story, which came out late yesterday afternoon, was false. Do you stick by that assertion? Do you think that every element of that story is false, and do you have anything to correct in terms of what you said at the podium yesterday afternoon?
No, I stand by my statement that I made yesterday. And what I'm saying is really the premise of that article is false, that in any way the president had a conversation that was inappropriate or that resulted in any kind of lapse in national security. And so I think the real issue, and I think what I'd like to see really debated more, is that our national security has been put at risk by those violating confidentiality and those releasing information to the press that could be used connected with other information available to make American citizens and others more vulnerable.
Are you denying that he revealed information that was given to the U.S. by an intelligence partner?
So what we don't do is discuss what is and what wasn't classified. What I will tell you is in the context of that discussion, what the president discussed with the foreign minister was wholly appropriate to that conversation and is consistent with the routine sharing of information between the president and any leaders with whom he's engaged.
And the U.S. received from an intelligence partner?
I'm not going to be the one to confirm that sort of information that could jeopardize our security.
U.S. allies that do have these type of intelligence sharing relationships with the U.S. will stop providing that information?
No, I'm not concerned at all. That conversation was wholly appropriate to the conversation, and I think wholly appropriate what the expectations are of our intelligence partners.
If I can follow on that, General, have you reached out to foreign partners who might have contributed such information to the U.S. and talked to them about it, tried to reassure them? If so, what was their reaction?
I have not, and I'm not sure what conversations have been held about that.
If there was nothing that the president shared that he shouldn't have shared, why did his counterterrorism advisor contact the NSA and the CIA about what he had said?
You know, I would say maybe from an overabundance of caution, but I'm not sure. I mean, I've not talked to Mr. Bossert about why he reached out.
There, so what presumably you would understand why there was a reason to reach out.
Sure, I was in the room. The Secretary of State was in the room, as you know. The Deputy Assistant, the Deputy Advisor for National Security, Deena Powell for Strategy, was in the room, and none of us felt in any way that conversation was inappropriate.
General,
Thanks, Sean. General, if you can tell us, when was the decision made to share that information with the Russians? Did the president spontaneously on the spot decide to give that information over, or was there an interagency process or some kind of formal decision-making process in advance of that meeting with the Russians last week?
Well, as you know, the president, it's wholly appropriate for the president to share whatever information he thinks is necessary to advance the security of the American people. That's what he did. As to your question on had that information been shared previously, I'm not sure about that.
When did he make that decision, though, sir?
When did he make the decision?
When did he make the decision to share the information?
He made the decision in the context of the conversation, which was wholly appropriate. So let's just, I think it's worth recapping one thing here. The president was meeting with the foreign minister about the terrorist threat. He had also raised some difficult issues. What we expected in terms of different behavior from Russia in key areas like Ukraine and as in Syria. But then the president was emphasizing, hey, we have some common interests here. We have to work together in some critical areas. And we have an area of cooperation with transnational terrorist organizations, ISIS in particular, an organization that had already taken down a Russian airliner and murdered over 200 people in October of 2015. And so this was the context of the conversation in which it was wholly appropriate to share what the threat was as a basis for common action and coordination.